Hi everyone, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. So I have Seminole Ridge color guard here, ready for my critique. A requested, well, 90% of my critiques are requested, so I probably don't even have to say that. All right, let's see what's happening here. Okay, so you just called the team to attention. What I suggest when you first fall in, do you see how, and it's kind of awkward, a little strange to see because of the pixelation that I have going on here, but I really want to focus in on the color guard. But anyway, so when you first fall in, I'll show you with this. So your spade, oh good, so it's in the camera. All right, it looks like you're falling in with the spade turned any which way, but when you fall in, you need to make sure that your spade is flat. You can do that by creating a spade marker. So one of the easiest ways to do that is to, since the wood already has a certain grain to it, so tighten your add graphite, powdered graphite to the screw joint here. You unscrew, and if I had graphite on this, it wouldn't squeak. But you unscrew the spade, and then you put graphite on the inside, on the upper ferrule, the receiver end, the female part of the screw joint there, and then shake it around a bit, get the graphite into the threads there, and then put it on. Lock it closed. The graphite's going to keep it locked in place, but it also, for some strange reason, allows a really easy removal if you have to remove them. So, but I like the ability to then just lock it right in place. So now I have my spade is flat. I also want what I call the fringe gather. So on the, and I don't have a flag with me. So on I can probably easily explain it by talking about the seam. So the seam at the end of the flag, that where the staff sleeve is, that little the loop of material that you can slide the staff through that material piece. So that's called the staff sleeve. Where the seam comes around, or where the material comes around and is sewn to the other material, where that seam is, you should drill a hole on one side, put your leather tab, mount your leather tab so that the spade is flat, or put your Velcro piece over that, and then once you mount the flag, then the seam of the staff sleeve should be on this side. It should be facing you. So if you ever post the colors, then when you do, you'll post the colors in the stands, and then the seam is right here. The fringe hangs nicely off to the right side. It works out really well. Now, this is my way of mounting a flag on a staff and ensuring that it's the same. So you don't necessarily have to follow these, but these guidelines anyway, but I really suggest you do. I've given this careful consideration, lots of thought over many years of working with flags. So anyway, once you get the seam taken care of on the one side, the flat side of the spade, then what you're going to do is you can take a razor blade, a carpet knife, and then put a gash right down the center of the staff, maybe that long, and a couple inches long. And I'm not talking about driving the blade in there and creating this massive gash in there. Not at all. Not at all. What I want you to do is pretty much score about a 2-inch long piece. Now what you can do is then take even just an ink pen and just lightly go in that scoring. All right, make sure that you sand it down so that you don't if you're going to wear, you don't want to get a splinter, you don't want to get anything caught, whether it's skin or glove material, and then put some lacquer over that, just a tiny bit of lacquer, so that it stays in place and is nice and smooth like the rest of the staff. All right, so then when you fall in, when you come to carry, you'll be able to see it. When you come to order, you have your the seam is over here. You have your score, or your visual. We'll put it. It's the score for the visual part. You know, where you can see that cut that you made into the wood. On the other side here, just I think it's the Marine Corps order talks about this, and I think it's just a few inches lower. Then you can put another score, and this one is for feel. You don't even have to put a line in it, make it a little darker at all. So you can just put that little line in there, and it's just for feel. So when you place your fingers down in the V grip, you're going to go to the V grip. Then once you can feel that, yep, that's it. That's perfect. That's exactly where the spade should be. I can feel that, and it's you have then perfect alignment, whether you're at order, parade rest, or even at carry. So you always know your spade is flat. That's one of the first things you got to do. I know I took a long time to explain that, but all right, I want to watch carry again. Go a little farther back. So don't look down. Okay, and you're kind of slamming, and I hear you have those plastic, the harness sockets. I can't stand those plastic cups. You have the equipment that you have, not a big deal. All right, so as you're picking up the staff, what you're going to do, and I'm going to put my left hand here. So let's say I have my harness socket right here. So as I pick up my staff, tell you what, I'm going to use the pike pole. It's a lot shorter. So as I pick up my staff, I'm going to raise my left hand to the socket. I'm going to hold my hand on the socket. I'm going to bring the staff up so that the ferrule is above the centered on my body, and then I'm going to feel for it, and then I can push it in or let it slide. Bring and slide the right hand down, and then the left hand is always there. It doesn't have to move at all, and it looks like you have the brown staffs. So you really need these. Arm swing is inconsistent between the two guards, but you're keeping so color bearers, you're kind of moving in together there, closer together. Good wheel movement here. I really appreciate that. The guard is staying right in place. Nice job. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Good. Yeah, not bad. Left hands do not belong that high. So the left hand needs to be on, again, let's say my socket is here. Left hand needs to be at the socket, and then you're not going to flare that elbow, but you're going to have this, the right hand is going to be at mouth or chin level. And this is perfect right here. So you should look like this. Obviously my left should be down much lower. You're going to carry like this. And I've said it before, why the Army decided in the 70s to go with the two-hand carry, no idea. It was always the single hand. Okay, so I appreciate the technique here. So let's go back to right here. Sling arms. So moved your head a little bit there, right rifle guard. And I appreciate you're coming out to the port position, not port arms, but the port position, grabbing the rifle, placing it on the right hip. So the butt of the rifle needs to be on the top of the belt and not below it. So it needs to be on the hip bone, and you're wearing your belts perfectly right over the American, I'm thinking about the flag, right over the uniform belt, and that's great. Not above, but over the belt, so you can't see the uniform belt. So you really need to get timing taken care of here. And I'll just give you a quick example. This is not the greatest sling, but so you bring the rifle. You're going to cradle the rifle here. Notice I have my whole right arm. You're going to have it so I'm standing at attention and I'm looking. I'm not bending over. I'm just looking, and I'm going to come here, take care of my sling, bring it up, out, clasp, and then I'm going to push through, and then go to sling arms. Now you need to do that through a series of counts. So you can go with 1, 2, 3. Make sure your left is guiding in there. 3, 4, 5, snapping that the little clasp there. 6, 7, clasp. 8, and then 9, slide your hand through. 10, 11, 12, something like that. So make sure that you have the counts there, and that you're not relying on anything else like signals. Some cadets work out, click, 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 and it's just a series of clicks all the time. That's bad. That's bad news. Definitely not that you did this, but you need to get a cadence down with a number of counts, so that both the guards know what they're doing at what count. And take the caps off the rifles. All right, so when you come out, you need to come to the raised guide-on position. So you're here, you have your left on your the bottom of the staff at the harness socket, you have your right at chin level, and then you're going to come out to raised guide-on. So raised guide-on is this position. This is raised guide-on. Then you're going to drop the staff forward, and then from here, what I highly suggest is, don't want to stab my chair, what I highly suggest is you pull your left forward and slide the staff back, so that it's easier to manage. So not bad. Good. What I would suggest is, instead of the guards coming in at an angle and then facing, what you do is you come in and then stop facing the flags. You halt. I shouldn't say stop. You halt facing the flags, so that as you're walking at marching at an angle coming in, your outside foot, or inside really in this case, your inside foot is going to be placed here and then here, so that you're facing the flags. That's the right rifle guard. What the left rifle guard would do, if you're going to stop on the right, the left rifle guard would be marching like this, and then come and, it's a little awkward, place the foot here and then come over here. And to eliminate this problem, this is a big case problem that you're having here. Whether your arms reach the entire length or not doesn't really matter. What you need to do is let your outside arm, that's the arm away from the color bearers, let that outside arm slide along the case, grab the end of the case, then keep sidestepping, and then bring the case together. So however much you can grab of the case, whatever length, I'm 6'2", and I have a 6 foot arm span here. If you're a little shorter stature, you probably don't have that. You don't want to bend the head either at all. Don't look around. You need to you can look, sidestep, finally grab the case, slide it off, continuing to sidestep, and then bring the case together, come down, flat, bring the case together, come down, flat, bring the case together. Meanwhile, the colors are being unfurled, So when you do that though, and you did fairly well. So you need to technically what you should do is unfurl and stay unfurled with the staff horizontal all the time, and then you're completely unfurled. The spade is flat, and then you come up and slide in like this. Slide into the harness socket. Got some woofing going on. Somebody at the door, I believe. Anyway, but the right needs to be up, and then the left needs to be at the harness socket. Holding the staffs, or I'm sorry, not holding the staffs, but let's go back just a hair. There. Holding the cases perfectly. That's really good. However, with the strings that you have there, the strings really need to be tucked. You need to be the case needs to be a bit of a rectangle, but as squared off as possible, with the strings not hanging out, the tapered end not showing, and it's a good present. Excellent technique there. Good job. Good job, guards. All right. Facing movement's fine. So once you tuck the cases into the belts, if my arm is the belt, and this should be the case. The case doesn't do this. The case doesn't flop over. The case should be behind, so that there's a little bit sticking up at the top, a little bit sticking up at the bottom. So here also, in order to facilitate left guard, you kind of moved your whole body over like this to not hit your Florida color bearer with your rifle, and I appreciate that. However, what you can do is, and I'll do this for you, and it's very simple. What you can do is, you're at sling arms, so start pulling the rifle forward by the sling, bring your arm forward, and look, just reach through, grab the rifle, control the rifle the whole time. That way you don't have to bend your whole body just to keep your color bearer taken care of. And then going to right shoulder, with the elbow up, wrong. That's a salute, actually, and I'm not even going to go into that. This is long enough. So when you go to right shoulder, what you're going to do is place the rifle. Let me see if I can get this out of the way. There. Place the rifle on the shoulder, but you're going to flare this hand, and the elbow is down at your side, so that all you have to do is just cut away and not bring the whole arm down. So right here, elbow tucked. Left hands are a little bit too high on the rifles. So if you have a two-hand hold because of the wind, which is quite possibly the case, what you need to do is slide the left up and under and touching the right. So you have to touch, can't just, and then that's not colors reverse. Colors reverse is a little complicated. But it's a series of faces in marching, and faces in marching are only executed by a pivot on the right foot. The right foot's platform, to be precise. So let me talk to you about the wind here. All you ever know about is this is carry with your left hand here at the harness socket and your right hand up here. And then if there's wind, you can slide your left hand up. And that's it. That's all you know. That's all you're told in the training circular. So when you first go to carry, you need to go to carry properly. If there is wind at the beginning, before you even start, you can give bearers ready slide. So it's 1, 2, 3. So your color bearers, all right, so it's only you start out the command with bearers, and it's only for the color bearers, and then bearers ready slide 1, 2, 3, and you're done. Not a problem. You can also give it during, but there is no command to do that, and that is my suggestion. And with the wind there, going to order is a little bit of an issue, and I get that. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. It's a couple of sections. All right, so then let me, I'm going to pause here, and I'll bring up the other video. Okay, so got the other video up in 2 sections. Not a big deal at all. So yeah, I get it. You had a bit of a problem there. So you do have incorrect staffs, the brown staffs, and then the wrong finials as well. This is the only staff that's authorized, and then this is the only finial that's authorized for the Army. Those colors sets that are sold with those poles, that's only for non-military display, indoor display, never for a color guard especially. So you have to march at close interval, and you're a little closer color bearers than close interval. Guards, you're keeping a good distance, that's great. However, now look at this. So you've draped the case over, and even have the strings hanging out. So you have to develop a tuck technique where the case is completely in the belt, not just draped over the belt. You got to get rid of the strings. You got to get rid of all that sloppiness there. Alignment has really been consistent so far. So what's interesting to me is that judges return that salute. That's not intended for the judges. That's all a color guard does is go through a series of techniques. That's it. Now the eyes right was given so that the judge can see from the reviewer's perspective, a reviewer, as if you're in a parade or something like that. So and that's why that's placed there. But the judge doesn't need to return the salute. It's not a salute for the judge. It has nothing to do with the judge. The report in, the report out have to do with the judge, not the eyes right. So you can see it's interesting. You all have a certain visual memory. And I talk about muscle memory all the time. I also talk about visual memory. Not everybody knows what I mean by visual memory. So we have an energy field that extends around us. It's a real thing. And these energy fields, when you're this close, these energy fields overlap in a certain amount. And so we get used to, I call it visual memory because it's much easier to say visual memory than try to explain the energy field that's around us. It's a big ball that's around us. It extends at about, I think it's 3 or 6 feet, something like that. Anyway, so, but we have this visual memory of what's around us. And so from my position as the right rifle guard, I have this visual memory of being this far away because he's consistently this far away. He has that visual memory. So does the left rifle guard. Has a consistent, he has a visual memory of being consistently that far away from the Florida bearer. And then both the bearers here, both the color bearers, way too close. So this is almost too far. It's just a hair over, definitely way too close. And this is just you're almost shoulder to shoulder. But I really appreciate the wheels. You do a very good job at keeping that alignment. That's really nice. Now that's going to change once you start working on your your spacing. Now look at that. Interestingly enough, your spacing widens here, and that could be because you're used to doing that for whatever reason. So okay, now I can see it a little better. Not down at the top of the leg. So don't place the butt at the top of the leg. It's on the top of the belt, the web belt. That's where it needs to be. The butt of the rifle needs to be placed. Nice job. Carrying the case just like a book, and then face and march out. 4 steps, halt, about face. Good salute technique again, guards. Well done. And then finishing that salute like that. Good. This will be interesting to see how you are going to deal with this. So one thing that you can do, the Florida is definitely higher than the American here, and I don't mean just, you know, you're at different heights, and I get that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about angle. So the Florida is like this, and it's higher than the American. And the staff should be underneath the armpit, definitely, and you're not supposed to lower it or raise it or whatever. That's fine. So what I was going to say is the hands should be right where the American the right rifle guard has them, right there at the staff. Now sometimes, and you furled the whole time with the staffs horizontal, which is fine. That's exactly how you're supposed to do it. But if you're too short to do that, what the guards can do is they can pull the flag material up so they hold the corners, like say here, in their hands, just with their ring and pinky fingers, and then the heel of the thumb, and then they, as the flag is being furled, then they hold up at the staff, and then you're holding at an angle. So as the staff, or as the flag is furled, then you bring the staff to horizontal so that you eventually drop the rest of the flag, not until the very end, but as it's being furled, you're guiding the flag onto the staff so that it's less wrinkled. It's always going to wrinkle no matter what, but you're going to do it as neatly as possible. Oh, okay, I see. So okay, I understand. Not exactly the technique I was expecting, but that's okay. That's fine. It's not as professional looking. So both the guards are there, and they just undo the cases, and then they're right at the end. So they just slide them on and slide the cases down the flagstaff. Not necessarily the best technique. It is. There's nothing that says that you have to do what I'm about to tell you. It just looks better. So you can do that. That's fine. Not a problem at all. However, what you might want to do is take your cases in hand, pop them out so that they're horizontal, and then you sidestep and sidestep and sidestep and sidestep, and then you can come out, sidestep back in, so that the cases slide on better. But nobody says you have to do that. And you're finishing about the same time. So I've seen that that rear march to get back into formation. I've also seen taking a step beyond, halting, and then executing about face. But that's a good technique, honestly. That helps you with your alignment at the very end. So the rear march works well. And then right rifle guard, you've got that wild arm swing going there. It calms down just a little bit until you get into your wheel movements. Then it starts to go, and you're bending a lot from your elbow. And left rifle guard, you don't really swing. You don't have a backswing. The swing backwards. At least that's what I was noticing earlier. Yeah, it's a minimal swing backwards. 9 to the front, 6 to the rear, measured from the center of the trouser leg. Well, nice job, team. I know I took 30 minutes to explain all of this for an 8-minute performance. So, but there was a lot to cover. But really, that's not bad. There's some timing issues there that the guards need to really be consistent on. Some technique issues there with color bearers, but still, they had good timing as far as feet, and then your alignment was really very good throughout. Spacing needs some work, but honestly, that was a fine job. So thank you very much for the critique request. I appreciate it.